Thank you for joining us and learning more about what happens when you file a state tax appeal with the Pennsylvania Board of Appeals. If you disagree with an assessment that you received from the Department of Revenue, or you are filing an appeal for any other reason, including a refund of overpaid taxes, you may submit an REV 65 BOA petition form to the Board of Appeals for review. The fastest and most efficient way to file a petition with the Board of Appeals is through the BOA website. You simply type in boardofappeals.state.pa.gov and select the option to submit a petition. You will need to create an e-signature user ID and password, but once that is complete, you can get started right away. Upon submission of the electronic petition, the data is immediately available for review and filers instantly receive a confirmation number for their records. Please keep in mind that if you choose to mail a paper petition, this will delay the processing of your appeal. It takes time for the U.S. Postal Service to deliver correspondence to the department. Once received, the mail needs to be opened, sorted, and prepared for scanning. Next, a representative must manually enter the data from the paper petition into our case management system. After this data entry is complete, the appeal is finally ready for its initial review. Once the petition is received and entered into the system, the appeal is looked over by an individual called a reviewer. During this process, the reviewer will ensure the petition form is complete and timely. If anything is missing, the reviewer will attempt to fix the oversight or contact you for additional information. However, the Board of Appeals does not have the authority to alter any appeal deadlines. Therefore, all late appeals will be dismissed. If your appeal passes the initial interview, it is advanced to a hearing officer. At this point, you will receive an acknowledgement letter from the board. This letter also indicates the name and contact information of the hearing officer who is assigned to the case. You may feel free to contact this individual during the appeal process with any questions you may have. The hearing officer is designed to be a neutral party. This means they are not working against you, but they are also not able to provide any tax advice. Their role is to evaluate the issues and arguments presented in your petition and determine the accurate tax policy under Pennsylvania law. If necessary, hearing officers may ask for additional information or documentation. Additionally, this individual will conduct the hearing if one was requested. Please keep in mind that most of the time, hearings are not required, but they are only scheduled at the petitioner's request. Currently, all BOA hearings are being performed virtually using Microsoft Teams. Board hearings are informal, so it is not necessary to bring professional representation. However, witnesses will give testimony under oath and all the proceedings will be recorded as part of the record. In order to have the most efficient hearing, make sure you have completed any pre-hearing preparation and have all your relevant documentation on hand. The petitioner will always have the option to waive the hearing and request that the decision is based on the records provided. Once the hearing officer has accumulated all the relevant tax information, they will create a recommended decision which will be submitted to the Board of Appeals for approval. Like hearing officers, board members are required to have significant depth of knowledge and experience in the tax types that they deal with. The board members will review the recommended decision from the hearing officer and approve a final decision. Once the board members approve, the decision will be sent simultaneously to both the taxpayer and the Department of Revenue. If you have been granted relief in the decision, the Department of Revenue will process any necessary adjustments and credit the account or send a refund check if appropriate.